Hello again, and welcome back to AR English. I'm very happy to see you again on this channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. On this channel, we listen to English podcasts to improve our listening skills step by step. In AR English, our goal is simple. We want to help you understand English better, little by little, every day. On this channel, we will start from level A1, the beginner level, and slowly move to higher levels like A2, B1, B2, and even C1. So if you continue listening and practicing with these podcasts, your listening skills will become stronger and stronger. Listening is one of the most important skills in learning English. When you listen a lot, you start to understand words faster. You learn how people speak in real life. You learn pronunciation, rhythm, and natural expressions. That is why this channel focuses on listening practice. Each podcast will help you hear English in a clear and simple way. Today's podcast is about a very useful topic in everyday life: weights and measures. Weights and measures are very important because we use them almost every day. We use them when we cook food. We use them when we go shopping. We use them when we talk about distance, size, or quantity. For example, when you buy fruit, you may hear words like kilograms or grams. When you cook, you may hear words like liters, milliliters, cups, or tablespoons. When you travel, you may talk about kilometers or meters. Understanding these words helps you understand instructions, recipes, and conversations in English. In this podcast, we will listen to simple explanations and examples about weights and measures. You will hear useful vocabulary and common expressions that people use in everyday situations. Try to listen carefully. If you don't understand everything, don't worry. That is completely normal when learning a language. You can listen to the podcast more than one time. The first time, just listen and try to understand the general idea. The second time, pay attention to the words and expressions. The third time, try to repeat some sentences after the speaker. This is a very powerful way to improve your listening and pronunciation. You can also pause the video if you need more time to understand or repeat. Little by little, your brain will become more comfortable with English sounds, words, and sentences. Remember, learning a language is not about being perfect. It is about practicing every day and improving step by step. So relax, listen carefully, and enjoy the podcast. Now, let's begin our listening practice and talk about weights and measures. First, let's understand what weights and measures are. Weights and measures help us know how heavy something is and how big something is. We use weights and measures in our daily life. For example, when we buy food, we use weight. We can say 1 kilogram of apples or 2 kilograms of rice. Weight tells us how heavy something is. Measures help us know the size, the distance, or the quantity of something. For example, we can measure water. We can say 1 liter of water. We can also measure distance. For example, the distance between two places can be 5 kilometers. We also use weights and measures when we cook. A recipe can say 1 cup of milk or 2 tablespoons of sugar. So, weights and measures are very important in our daily life. They help us understand numbers, quantities, and sizes. Now, let's talk about units of weight. Units of weight help us know how heavy something is. We use units of weight every day. One common unit of weight is the gram. A gram is a very small weight. For example, a small piece of chocolate can be a few grams. Another common unit is the kilogram. 1 kilogram is 1,000 grams. We often use kilograms when we buy food. For example, we can say, I want 1 kilogram of apples, or 2 kilograms of potatoes. Sometimes, we also talk about heavier things. For very heavy things, we can use the ton. For example, a truck or a big machine can weigh many tons. So, grams, kilograms, and tons are common units of weight. They help us understand how heavy something is. Now, let's look at something fun. Sometimes people measure things in strange ways. Yes, not always with meters or kilograms. Sometimes people use simple things to measure. For example, imagine you want to measure a table. Instead of using a meter, you use your hands. You can say, "This table is 4 hands long." Another example is distance. Some people measure distance with steps. They walk and count. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. After many steps, they know the distance. Long ago, people did not always have measuring tools. So they used their body to measure things. They used their foot, their hand, or their arm. Today, we use standard measurements like meters, liters, and kilograms. But these old and strange measurements are still interesting to learn about. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. I hope this episode helps you improve your English listening skills. Remember, when you learn a language, it is normal if you do not understand everything. The most important thing is to keep listening and practicing. Little by little, your listening will become better and better. If you like this podcast, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and support us. Your support helps this channel grow and helps more people learn English. Also, if you want more podcasts like this, write a comment and tell me what topics you want to hear. Before we finish, I will leave you with a short story. Listen carefully and try to understand the main idea. And remember, it is not necessary to understand every word. Just relax and listen. Now, enjoy the short story. Many years ago, people did not have modern tools to measure things. In a small village, there was a farmer. His name was Tom. Tom wanted to build a wooden table for his kitchen. But he did not have a ruler or a measuring tool. So Tom used his hands to measure the wood. He put his hand on the wood and counted. 1 hand, 2 hands, 3 hands. He said, "This table will be 5 hands long." After that, Tom wanted to walk to his friend's house. He also measured the distance with his steps. He walked and counted. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps. After many steps, he arrived at his friend's house. Long ago, many people measured things like Tom. They used their hands, their feet, and their steps. Today, we use meters, kilograms, and liters. These measurements help everyone understand the same size and weight. But these old ways of measuring are still interesting to learn about.